Hi there. So today's question is, what is hypnosis? So hypnosis is best described as a very deep state of relaxation. In other words, a normal, healthy, natural state of mind. Some say that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, and our bodies experience what is known as ultraradian rhythms, which happens all day, every day, in and out. And these rhythms form the basis of common everyday trance or hypnotic states. So we could find ourselves daydreaming or just taking a break, and you'll find yourself doing this exact same thing. I've got some more examples of a hypnotic state. So if you ever experienced driving home preoccupied by something and then suddenly realizing that you've arrived safely at your destination, but you can't recall driving past familiar landmarks, or did you hit a red light? It's as if you're on automatic pilot. Have you ever been unsure whether you did something or not, or just simply thought about it? For example, did you mail that letter, or did you just think about mailing the letter? Have you ever been so absorbed in an activity that you were able to block out sounds or make them totally unimportant or not even hear them? Have you ever stared into space, thinking of nothing and been aware? Have you ever stared into space and been unaware of the passage of time? Have you ever had the experience remembering a past experience with such clarity and vitality that it was almost as if you were reliving it? Have you ever been able to shut out your surroundings by concentrating very hard on something else? These are all amazing examples. Have you ever had the experience of reading a novel or watching a film and being so absorbed that you forgot about your surroundings, almost living the story? Have you ever been lulled into a dreamy state or put to sleep by a lecture or a concert, or even though you are not even tired? These are all states of trance, and you're doing them every day, all day. That is what hypnosis is. So today's question is, what is a clinical hypnotherapist? A clinical hypnotherapist is a specialist in hypnosis who uses the healing state of hypnosis to work with problems or conditions that a client wishes to change. Not only are we clinical hypnotherapists and psychotherapists here at Fairy Meadow Hypnotherapy, we are also what's called an NLP coach, Neuro-Linguistic Programming Coach, which means we know how to language what we need to language in the brain to remedy anything that's going on in the mind and body connection. Together with hypnosis, NLP and psychotherapy, we help create you change for your life, for your loved ones and beyond. Question today is, what is the history of hypnotherapy? Hypnosis is not a new modality of treatment. Hypnosis has had a variety of names and has been used for millennia as a means of influencing human behaviour. Therapeutic suggestion and concentration have been practiced throughout history as we have sought to recognise and treat discomfort, disorder and disease. The Celts and Druids practiced hypnosis. The Egyptians established sleep temples some 4,000 years ago dedicated to therapeutic trance states in which curative suggestions were given. The Bible contains many sections which allude to hypnotic phenomena. Primitive tribes have shamans who practice ritual sleep cures and healing suggestions to remove the influences responsible for illness. Undoubtedly, the chants of earliest medicine men helped many patients to restore their health. Think about the crooning and rocking that a mother uses to help her child into a peaceful state of quiet and sleep. In modern times, hypnosis is usually dated to Vienna in the 1700s, when a young physician named Mesmer. The method Mesmer used became known as mesmerism. Mesmer guided his patients to use their powerful imaginations. By doing so, Mesmer unwittingly laid the cornerstone of many present-day therapies. Today, imagery techniques are used in many healthcare settings with cancer patients and the areas of sports and business motivation. In 1855, English surgeon James Esdale used hypnotic skills in India. He operated on 3,000 patients, of which 300 were major procedures. He discovered the mortality rate dropped from 50% to 5%, and that many of his patients recovered more quickly, had increased resistance to infection, and had greater comfort. He presented his findings to the Royal Academy of Physicians in London. His work was denounced as blasphemous because God intended people to suffer. During the First and Second World Wars, interest in hypnosis was heightened because hypnosis was found to be very effective in combating war neurosis. The success of hypnosis in dismissing symptoms through a reliving of events of a traumatic experience created a wave of enthusiasm for hypnotic methods. It is probably true to say that hypnosis is clouded with more myths and misconceptions than any other form of psychological practice. And even though these misconceptions have their roots in long distant history and no foundation in fact, in Australia and elsewhere throughout the world, hypnotherapy is now recognised as a valuable therapeutic methodology. The question of what does hypnosis feel like? Well, it's the feeling in hypnosis of being physically and mentally relaxed. It has been likened to the feelings that we experience just before waking completely from sleep or just as we drift off to sleep. Some people say it feels like daydreaming. When in hypnosis, people experience a state of complete mental, physical, and emotional relaxation. In itself, this is a very healing state. Dr. Milton Erickson, a leading American hypnotherapist, described the process of clinical hypnosis as a free period in which individuality can flourish. How does hypnotherapy help? Well, the ability to reprogram emotional attitudes and reactions is a latent talent within every human being. Hypnosis is the most functional and reasonable way to train lifelong attitudes rather than suffer a lifetime of emotional accidents the conscious mind is unable to change. This question is, can anyone be hypnotized? Pretty much. Most more easily than others. Like anything else in life, the more people practice self-hypnosis, the more easily they can slip into that wonderful state which is completely relaxing. The depth that people reach in hypnosis varies between individuals, and it's not necessary to achieve a very deep level of hypnosis to bring about change to habits or conditions that are having a negative impact either mentally or physically. A common myth about hypnotherapy is when a person says, "No one could hypnotize me, I'm too strong-minded." All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. A person goes into hypnosis because they choose to. So strong-minded individuals are really good candidates for hypnosis, provided they're committed to wanting it to work for them. Are abilities enhanced during hypnosis? Well, yes, and I'm going to go through a few of them with you right now. So, some examples are the ability to imagine. People in hypnosis respond extremely well to the use of imagery techniques, which have powerful benefits for change. Brain scans taken in people in hypnosis show increased activity during hypnosis, particularly in the motor and sensory area relating to the heightened mental imagery. Under hypnosis, the powerful benefits of imagery can be used to treat a wide range of conditions. The ability to remember. People in hypnosis experienced a heightened sense of recall. For example, in some instances, hypnosis is used by the police to assist witnesses to recall car number plates or describe people at a crime or accident scene. The enhancement of the ability to remember in hypnosis enables the client and the therapist to explore the origin or cause of the symptoms that may be causing a client distress and enable them to take an appropriate course of action. The ability to be creative. By having access to increased creativity in hypnosis, people are able to allow themselves to be much more creative in their thinking, thus enabling them to be more readily able to explore options and solutions to issues that are troubling them. People can also utilize the benefits of self-hypnosis in all areas of their life that involve creativity, such as painting, writing, music, etc. And the ability to respond positively. This is my favourite one. Working as a team, the client and the clinical hypnotherapist agree on what outcomes the client is wishing to achieve. Heightened responsiveness to positive suggestion in hypnosis means that the clinical hypnotherapist can reinforce the changes the client wishes to make. This reinforcing under hypnosis at the subconscious or unconscious level is way more powerful than making suggestions to the conscious, aware mind. Will I be asked to do anything against my will? Such a common question. And it's one of the most common misunderstandings associated with hypnotherapy and hypnosis. It's probably tied in with another misconception that the hypnotherapist has control over the client, and this is not the case. People will not do or say anything under hypnosis that they would not do when not in hypnosis. Thanks to TV shows and stage hypnotists, there is a common misconception that you can be hypnotized against your will, and is simply not true. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Research conducted at the University of New South Wales by Dr. Amanda Barnier and reported in the Sydney Morning Herald in 1998 states that hypnotized people do not act like robots, nor are they powerless pawns of post-hypnotic suggestions. So there you go. We will not make you bark like a dog unless you actually want to, or squawk like a chicken unless you actually want to. One of the things that I talk about in my sessions is if I suggested that that person wanted to rob a bank and they actually did, it's because they actually wanted to rob the bank. We cannot suggest anything that is out of that person's own suggestion. Another common question is, am I unconscious when I'm hypnotized? Well, no. In hypnosis, the conscious mind takes a rest. Hypnosis allows you and the hypnotherapist to tap into the storehouse of information that lies in the subconscious or unconscious mind. And it makes positive changes to thought patterns, habits, or the effects of traumatic incidences that are having a negative impact either mentally or physically. What is self-hypnosis? Well, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. The clinical hypnotherapist facilitates the process using a range of techniques which may differ from client to client. A clinical hypnotherapist can teach you how to use self-hypnosis, thereby giving you a lifelong skill. This question of how much and how long does it take does vary from person to person. It's a hard question to answer because every person and every condition is different. So suggest that you talk with us, discuss with us either prior or during your first consultation. We work with people from anything from 1 to 3 sessions, from 3 to 6 sessions, from 6 to 12 sessions. So give us a call, we'll have a chat and we'll discuss what we think that might look like. But be also open to change, also open to the fact that it might take less than we first anticipated, especially if you're particularly ready to make those changes. In what areas can hypnotherapy be used? Well, a qualified hypnotherapist is trained to help with a variety of problems, while at the same time maintaining the highest standards, ethics and training as set out by the Australian Hypnosis Association. Hypnotherapy can help with smoking cessation, overeating, nail biting, bedwetting, insomnia, headaches, exam nerves, pain, anxiety, panic attacks, phobias, bulimia, depression, mood swings, alcoholism, relationship problems, anger, resentment, worry, guilt, grief, asthma, sexual problems. And hypnotherapy has been a great help in improving exam performance, study recall, sports focus, public speaking, personal growth, pain control, assertiveness, childbirth, communication, counselling, confidence, releasing the past, personal empowerment and goal setting. Hypnosis can be used in the treatment of most disorders, whether mental or otherwise, where the relaxation response promotes the person's positive mindset. For example, with a person with a physical injury, the person's mental resources can be enlisted to help manage the subsequent discomfort, allow for some rest, and lessen the associated emotional trauma. It must be noted that hypnotherapy is not a replacement for medical treatment from your doctor. The question, will my personality change? Well, hypnotherapy will bring out the best in you. This change happens when you leave any habits or baggage you no longer need or want. As a result, you become stronger and happier. It will help you unlock your true potential and uncover your strong, good qualities, which you may not even be aware of. How safe is hypnosis? Well, hypnosis is a normal, naturally occurring, healthy state of mind. It is drug-free. There has never been a single documented case of harm resulting from the use of hypnosis. Leslie Leckrone, psychologist and authority on hypnosis, states, "As to self-induction, many thousands have learned it, and I've yet to hear a report of any bad results of its use." In his book, Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis, Dr. William S. Kroger states, an associate of Pavlov, who used hypnosis for over 50 years in over 50,000 cases, reports as follows. "We have never observed any harmful influences on the patient which could be ascribed to the method of hypnosuggestion therapy, or any tendency towards the development of unstable personality, weakening of the will, or pathological urge for hypnosis." Dr. David Cheek, MD, who has a vast experience in the field, writes, "We can do more harm with ignorance of hypnotism than we can ever do by intelligently using hypnosis and suggestion constructively. Dr. Julius Grinker states, "The so-called dangers from hypnosis are imaginary. Although I have hypnotized many hundreds of patients, I have never seen any ill effects from its use." Psychologist Raphael Rhodes, in his book Therapy Through Hypnosis, writes, "Hypnotism is absolutely safe. There is no known case on record of harmful results from its therapeutic use." Dr. Louis P. Thorpe, Professor Emeritus, University of Southern California, in his book The Psychology of Mental Health, writes, "Hypnotism is a natural phenomenon. There are no known effects from its use."